Welcome to Career Insights with Ambition, the podcast where we delve into leaders' moments of truth that shape their careers and the businesses they work in. I'm your host, Chris Crolla, and each month we sit down with leaders to uncover the untold stories of their journey to success. Don't miss the next episode. Follow or subscribe wherever you listen. Hello and welcome to Career Insights with Ambition. I'm Chris Crolla. Today we are joined by Mark Broadhead. Mark has a long list of achievements, but mainly Mark has 20 years experience in financial leadership roles, 15 years as a CFO in aged care over 4 organizations. The wealth of experience, to name a little bit, covers aged care, NDIS, healthcare, senior living, private equity in there as well. Mergers and acquisitions. Mark's been involved in 22 mergers and acquisitions at over 500 million, which we will delve into later. Mark also facilitates an aged care thought leadership group with over 40 senior living CFOs, which I've been very honoured to be part of myself very recently, which again we will talk about. And Mark holds a Bachelor of Economics from Macquarie University, a major in accounting, and is also a CPA member, volunteers as a mentor in the CPA Australia's mentorship program. In his personal life, Mark enjoys hanging out with his family. He's a very keen golfer. Has played the bagpipes for over 40 years, a certified yoga teacher, and a netball coach. First question, Mark, how do you have enough hours in the day for all this?
It fits in okay. I'm not netball coaching at the moment, so.
Is the season over or?
Well, my daughters have retired.
Right, okay.
So I was coaching my daughters and they're currently studying and doing other things. So that was 5 very happy years though, coaching their teams.
Fair enough. So, but your daughter's retiring means that you've retired as well from the netball
yeah, that's
coaching
right,
part.
that's right.
Yeah. So golf, bagpipes, yoga, what's the order there? Which comes first?
It's a great question. Look, they're all good. It's like ranking your kids.
That's the next question.
Yeah. So they're all are very enjoyable. They're all provide a great deal of nourishment to my life.
Good.
I mean, they're all very different as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But I enjoy each one for different reasons.
We've obviously spoke a bit in private, like about the bagpipes piece, which is pretty close to me, given my heritage. So was that something that you picked up at school? Were you sort of forced that way, or was it something that you just sort of enjoyed?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when I was at school and I was 10 years old, some of the senior pipe band members came down to the prep school and just played a few tunes.
Yeah.
And they said, who wants to learn? And about 50 kids put up their hand and learn. And I think about 10 parents said, okay. And I think today I'm the only one playing.
Oh, really?
A funny story after my first public performance, my mum actually asked if I wanted to learn the clarinet.
No one starts good at bagpipes, like, you know.
Yeah. So, but it's been great. I've played at my 3 sisters' weddings,
amazing.
Various loved ones' funerals. You know, lots. I'd probably be up to around 40 Anzac days, close to.
Oh, well, yeah, nice.
Yeah. Oh, not quite 40, but probably high 30s Anzac days. Yeah.
And you played at your schools. Yeah. Was it Centenary? Do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So last year, my school, which is Knox Grammar, turned 100, and they had a tremendous centenary tattoo.
Yeah.
Sort of modelled on, I suppose, the Edinburgh tattoo.
Yeah. Nice.
For the school's 100-year celebration, there was 100 pipers.
Yeah.
And I've never been a part of a pipe band with 100 pipers, and I tell you what, the sound was quite something.
I bet it was. Yeah, I mean, it's on YouTube for anybody that wants to see it. It was quite a spectacle. So no, it was really good. Moving back into the career world, which is why we're here. Obviously, studying economics and accounting at university. What sort of led you down that path
of accounting? Well, I enjoyed it at school. I enjoyed the business subjects, and when I left school, I got a cadetship with a company called Grant Thornton. Mm-hmm. Which was very enjoyable, and I enjoyed just getting to know different aspects of businesses. I mean, when you're in finance, you're actually able to jump around into various businesses. I mean, I've been in private equity, family companies, non-for-profits, charities, manufacturing companies as well. So you get a good insight into what's going on with the business.
Yeah, definitely. What led you down the aged care route from that perspective, having amassed experience in various different fields?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was with a private family company who had a number of charities. And so I was assisting with those charities and enjoying that. And this role came up for a large not-for-profit aged care provider. And I applied for that and was successful in that. And I really enjoyed the values and mission focus of that company. And aged care is full of really, really great people. I've been here for 15 years. And that's one thing that really, I suppose, keeps me here is that all the staff, from the carers on the floor to people who work in the kitchen to the leadership to the executives, they generally always have their hearts in the right place and good caring individuals. So that's why I like it.
Excellent. Within your career, obviously you've had a bit of experience. I really want to talk about the mergers and acquisitions piece. It's, to me, I guess, the exciting part of finance, the exciting part of accounting. What is it that you enjoy most about that, and what advice would you give people looking to get into that area?
Well, the variety. Every single one is different, whether it's a merger with a smaller, like-minded non-for-profit, or whether it's a receiver sale, or whether it's something in between or a commercial sale. Every single one is different.
Yeah.
And if you're effectively the acquirer, you would say with a degree of confidence that your organization's in a strong state and with some good delivery of care and good financial situation. And so one of the things that is very rewarding about that is when you do successfully amalgamate with, for example, another small non-for-profit that may not have had the balance sheet or the leadership to carry it forward into the future, and they put their hand up and said, "Oh, can you help us out?" To be able to continue that original ethos of that organization, but also with the support and the strength of the large organization behind it. So I think that M&A, it can be a real win-win situation.
Yeah.
And ultimately a win-win for the residents, because that's who we're there for.
Yeah, good. Excellent. And from your point of view, if I was starting my finance career right now and that was a route I was looking to go down, what would you say that I should be looking to gain experience in maybe from an attribute perspective?
We're just getting hands-on experience in relation to doing the deal, the feasibility, presenting it to the board, making sure the numbers stack up, and then all the due diligence, which is large. And then when you're executing the deal, the preparation of the amalgamation. So all the systems, the staff, the team, the culture, all of those things, it's a massive process. I know in one of the larger ones we did, it was 2 years from originally looking at the information memorandum and doing the analysis to successfully bedding down the culture. And that's a long period of time. So get in there, get your hands dirty and get some experience, because that's where you learn.
Take a lot of patience as well?
I think a lot of good teamwork, a lot of communication.
Yeah.
And I think it's just not one person that can do it. It's a whole team.
Yeah, good. You obviously have led teams large and small throughout your career. In terms of, we've spoken about this offline a bit as well, like the high-performing teams and high-performing team structures. What would you say leads to getting the most out of your employees and making them collaborate more as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'd say for each individual, and I talk about myself in relation to this as well, to a role, if they're valued and they're growing and they're contributing, you've got a long way to getting a high-performing person, because they'll feel safe, they'll feel enthusiastic, and they'll feel passionate.
Yeah, definitely. With obviously everybody is different, but how would you describe your management style towards your staff?
I think I'm very empathetic.
Yeah.
I think and it's one of the things that grow as the years go on, is that you understand that people have their lives outside of work and they could have their own trials and tribulations outside there. I think it's important they can come to work, they can feel safe, they can feel like they're growing, that they're heard, that they're contributing, but also that they're able to just leave their work at the door and go home and enjoy their life.
Yeah.
I've seen a number of, and I'm sure you have as well, of situations where there's a culture of burnout and where overwork is esteemed. And I think that's just not sustainable in the long term. And you're not going to get the best out of people, and they're going to end up burnt out, disappointed, and questioning themselves. So I think as a leader, I take the responsibility of looking after people and mentoring them very seriously.
Yeah, good.
And it's a privilege to be a leader. It's not something that you sort of esteem for, so you got your name on the door. It's more about you're being entrusted with these lives, careers, and hopefully you can make a positive difference for them.
Yeah, good. I mean, like, it is a difficult one. Obviously, we're in different industries. I obviously recruited within finance, and we obviously do finance and technology, but particularly within recruitment, we see burnout quite a bit where staff, we kind of encourage to take as many like annual leave and use up that annual leave and not to leave any on the table, to go away and refresh mentally as well as sort of physically as well. And I can imagine in finance with the deadlines and everything that is involved in your work, it's very important for people to go away and be mentally refreshed, especially with those tight deadlines that are on the table most of the time,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one thought that springs to mind is that particularly as a CFO, you want to make yourself so when you go away, things still keep working.
Yeah.
And that's the same with my team currently. It's just 8, so it's reasonably small. I've led teams for about 40, but with all the 8 roles, I want someone else to be able to do their role.
Yeah, that's right.
So they can go on leave, and not come back to a bomb when in their email address. So things keep going, and also that's very good governance in terms of segregation of duties and
definitely
and management of that. And so people can go on leave and go, okay, well, I'm prepared to go on leave, and then I'll come back and my job's still here, but there's no disasters. I'm about to take a period of leave, and it's important that I can just switch off, and definitely that people in my team will be able to step up and fulfill those aspects of the role that need to keep going when I'm not at the desk.
That's a good sign of leadership as well, having contingency plans for you as well. So that's good. How long are you taking off?
2.5 weeks.
Lovely. Make sure you rest and recuperate in that time.
Yeah. We're going to the US.
Lovely.
So going to New York and Washington, so that's interesting times there at the moment. So.
Is that definitely? Let's not get into that. Is that a golfing trip?
No golf. My wife has a lot of relatives over there.
Nice.
And I've been to the West Coast. I've never been to the East Coast, so I've always wanted to go to DC and obviously see the wonders of New York.
Very good, very good. Well, hopefully you enjoy that and you manage to relax. Moving back to your career, what was the moment? I guess the moment of truth in your career that you really look at as a sort of turning point that defined your acceleration up to CFO?
So, I mean, I think my first CFO role, I just applied for it. It's
right.
So I'd say, always back yourself is an important thing, because you never know when you sit in front of the CEO what sort of synergies you could have and what sort of chemistry can happen. I mean, I think that if I could look at a really key moment in my career that I reflect on positively, it would be, so I was in one role for almost 10 years and it was sort of head down acquisitions, doing everything in the finance role and working really hard. Then I wasn't there anymore. And what I realized is that I probably neglected networking a bit, and I hadn't been, it's not like I didn't network, but I wasn't proactive. And then when I was in that stage where I was between jobs and looking for a new role, I really got intentional about networking and have kept that since then.
Yeah.
And to me, not just from a professional sense, but also a personal sense, I've been able to, get some good friends of this where I've met you. I mean, we got invited to a breathwork session.
Yeah.
Oh, you invited me to a breathwork session. Yeah. And see, the work will be there when you get back.
Yeah.
Like you go, yes, it'll be there. It's not going to run away. Who could I meet? And, you and I have done a lot together since then. And, And I found if you go to an event or a conference or whatever it is and you learn one thing and meet one person, then it's worthwhile. And you always do that. And you kind of turn off your phone, put away all your emails and sit and go, okay, what can I learn? What can I absorb? Who can I meet?
Yeah. That's
going to enrich my life and enrich my career. And you find all these people with their backgrounds and their philosophies on things. And it's very nice to do. And the other thing I found is that when I'm networking and when I'm outside the office at an event, whether it's a CFO breakfast or a conference, I find that a different part of my brain sort of fires up and the creative part fires up a bit more. And I'm sitting there writing, I should look at this, I should look at that. And it's when you're outside that environment. And
very interesting.
Yeah. So, I would say that was a really key evolution.
Yeah.
And now, I look after this group of 40 CFOs. Yeah. Look after the group, and I'm mentoring at CPA Australia. And interestingly, with the mentoring, you kind of do it because you want to give back. But I've found overwhelmingly, I've been the winner in this relationship because you're sitting with someone who's maybe 15, 20 years younger than you in their career, and they've got so much enthusiasm and their zest for learning, and it rubs off on you.
Definitely.
And, that's one of the reasons why I decided to train to be a yoga teacher, is because I was hanging out with these people who were just so keen to learn and grow. I thought, well, just because I've been around a bit longer than them doesn't mean I can't learn and grow. And
absolutely.
And I think that's a really positive thing when you do meet new people and get to know them. It broadens your horizons and broadens your perspectives.
Brilliant. Very good. Some very good lessons in there. We should probably give a shout out to Gina as well. Gina Morley. She's been dying for a shout out on this podcast, to be honest. So
Gina's fantastic because she's always so passionate and enthusiastic. And she also recruited a very key member of my team.
Yeah.
So,
and she's the one that introduced us, really.
Yeah.
We should definitely acknowledge that. And I think when you're talking about networking, so I still get recruitment consultants, candidates, clients alike who speak to me about networking events and going to networking events and tell me how nervous they are about them and tell me how they struggle at the events. They struggle to introduce themselves to other people or people they don't know and spark up that conversation. Would you have any advice around that? I know you sort of touched on it.
Yeah, that's really good. I think back yourself.
Yeah.
I think, was it Brené Brown I was just reading today? She's saying, talk to yourself as if your best friend would talk to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, say, let that best friend who really is in your corner speak to you.
I love that.
And almost create that in your head.
Yeah.
Like, back yourself. And then, just someone who is nervous, the chances are probably everyone else is nervous.
Yeah.
So you just go up and introduce yourself, take the opportunity to collaborate. And often in these roundtable events, they're saying, who's got any thoughts or insight? Just say them.
Yeah.
Just go for it and back yourself, because, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Absolutely. And everybody's there for the same reason.
Yeah.
I think that's important to know as well.
And you never know who you're going to meet or what connections you're going to make. And it's just like almost going to a party. You just got to put on your favorite shirt
and a smile
and a smile and just back yourself. Because I think also as a CFO and as executive, you should be backing yourself. Because your decisions are really will be good, and they're based on experience. One thing I've noticed sometimes in meetings, and when I feel it's appropriate, I sometimes gently point it out to the person after the meeting, is that they start their sentence by saying sorry. Or you're in a meeting and someone says, "Oh, sorry, but this is what I wanted to say," and I feel like saying, "You've got nothing to apologize for. What you're saying is good, is clear." And I want to listen to it. And so don't apologize. Don't ever apologize for taking up space, for saying your opinion. And I think because, you're awesome.
Yeah, good. There's been a lot of words of wisdom and advice in the last 20 minutes. But if you were to give a piece of advice for the next generation coming through, is there any one piece of advice that stands out for you that you want to relay?
Just going back to my reflections early. Go to a role where you're valued, you're growing, and you're contributing. And when you lead people, lead a team in where they're valued, growing, and contributing. I think if you've always got those three things, they're really, really strong pillars.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Because value goes to a lot of things. Obviously it goes to some financial remuneration, but it's probably a lot more deeper than that. It's like valuing their well-being, valuing who they are as a person, not just in the workplace, but outside the workplace. Growing is that, if we're not growing, we're dying. And so learning new things, like going on courses, going on networking events, doing mini courses now. I mean, there's so many opportunities to learn more, and then contributing. People want to feel and want to contribute to things. They want to go home and go, look, I built that. And it's like if you ever got a friend who's a builder or something, and you drive him around town, they go, I built that. It's or whatever that is. It's always important that people feel that they're contributing. And I think if you, in your career, are always asking yourself those 3 questions regularly and then being honest about them, and say if you're not valued. I suppose one of my mistakes has been in the past is crossing your fingers and hope you do get valued.
Yeah.
And that's where maybe a mentor could come in. If you ask me for one thing, I'll give you 2, if that's okay.
Oh, definitely.
Is explore that mentor-mentee relationship. So, I mean, I've got some people who I would call mentors. I've never asked them, will you be my mentor? Yeah. They just, because I just call them up, I buy them coffees and ask them questions, and that will naturally develop that relationship. And then, as you can get opportunities, sign up for formal mentorship programs. I mean, I think large companies may have them. CPA Australia, I mean, we're talking financial executives. CPA Australia has them. It's absolutely tremendous to be able to do that, because it's amazing how much people will help, and all you have to do is ask.
Definitely. People, and that's in all walks of life. People are more than happy to help you out, as long as you're a very reasonable person about it as well.
That's right.
And I think I've mentioned this to you before as well. We obviously send out surveys to what candidates are looking for, and the learning and development growth aspect of people's roles has increased a lot in the last 5 years. I think it used to be around about 20%, and now about 80% of people are really looking for that in the companies that they choose. And whether that's growth opportunities from being able to develop their career into other roles within the business, or even businesses just paying for courses for them to go on to develop them, it's become a real big part of employment. So that's really good, and I'm glad you touched on that as well. Mark, thank you so much for taking the time out to join me today. It was absolutely great having you, and I absolutely loved our discussion. I really loved your perspective on networking as well. I think that'll help a lot of people, and a really good bit of advice. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Cheers, Mark.
It was a pleasure. Thanks so much, Chris. Have a great day.
Thank you. That concludes another insightful episode of Career Insights with Ambition. If you've been inspired by today's conversation, share it with a friend, or leave us a review and subscribe to the podcast. Until next time, keep leading with ambition and turning your moments of truth into milestones for success. All right, cool. Career Insights with Ambition, brought to you by Ambition, a specialist recruitment agency committed to building better futures for organisations we work for and the professionals we help. Subject matter experts in accounting and finance, banking and financial services, technology and transformation, we're here to help. Find out more at ambition.com.au.